Good evening. My name is CJ Snipes, and I'm the city manager for the city of Clute, Texas. I'm excited to visit with you this evening via video. Sorry I couldn't be there in person, but circumstances being what they are, that just wasn't going to be possible tonight. Jose and his team had asked me to put together a presentation video which accompanies this. It might be good to watch that first and then come back and review these questions and answers that are associated with that, because it may answer those questions, and that way you don't have to look at my ugly mug or listen to me drone. This is my second go around with Livable Centers. My first actually was with the city of Fulshire about 7.5 years ago. We kicked that project off, and then I came to Clute, so I didn't get to see that one to fruition. This one, we've landed the bird and are very excited because we'll be formally adopting our Livable Centers plan on March 14th, and we've got some really cool activity associated with that. We look forward to the grand reveal, although it's actually the worst kept secret in town. If you're around Clute, you already know. But if you don't, check us out on the 14th. With that said, I'm going to take some questions here from my trusty sidekick, Rosie Pornovit, our city clerk, and she is going to fire away pre-prepared questions, and I hopefully can answer in a manner that isn't too boring. So with that said, Rosie, take it away.
Wow, all of this sounds really exciting. Can you tell me, how has the city of Clute benefited from a livable center study?
Well, so we've benefited in several different ways. Mostly right now indirectly, because it's given the council, the Economic Development Corporation, Planning and Zoning staff. It's given us the broad vision of where we want to go and what we want our community to look like, and that's based off of this community survey. You see the charts and graphs next to me. These are reflective of more than 1,500 responses. Better than 10% of the entire community went out of their way to provide us with information about what they wanted to see include. So we have a clear vision from our residents and our constituents what they want, and now our job is to bring that to fruition. And so that indirect benefit right now is, hey, we know what direction we need to go, and the direct benefit will be coming in the form of future development, future projects that improve the lives of the folks that live here, but also work here and play here and visit. And hopefully we grow that work here, play here, live here component by using this plan as a recruitment tool.
How has the city of Clute retained its small town feel while accommodating economic growth from the Livable Center study?
Oh, wow. So Clute is, as I like to say, comfortably ensconced in the warm embrace of Lake Jackson, Freeport, Richwood, and the Dow BASF chemical complex. And so we have always been in the middle of things. We've been able to maintain our heritage basically through just being here, and the kind of folks and the work ethic that comes with living in southern Brazoria County, just as I'm sure it comes with living there in Waller County. The folks that are here are hardy, they are hardworking, and they are strongly independent. They know what they want, they know what they don't want, and our job is to kind of make sure that we're giving them what they want, how they want it, because at the end of the day, ready.
What kind of partnerships did the city of Clute need to create their own town center and development of Shanks Lake, and what was the partnership building process like?
Oh, man. Okay, so the city has been attempting Shanks Lake. If you go back and watch the other video, the accompanying video, I should have a chart and graph for that, is at the very heart of our community. It's literally downtown, and it's owned by two large landowners on either side and some smaller landowners on another side. And so about 10 years ago, my predecessor had approached one of the leading families of Clute about their potential interest in sharing that property or selling that property to the city. That never really came to fruition until this Livable Center study came along, and the mayor and I decided that we would take a chance and revisit it, make another ask of this family to see if they might be interested in it. We were able to share with them some of the raw work that we had done in relation to Livable Centers. And I think that is what sealed the deal. They were excited about seeing the vision that we had for the community, seeing the vision that we had for their homestead, and seeing the vision that we had for this lake that is so integral into the life of Clute. From the 1950s on, that's where you went to go fishing. You know, some folks might or might not have had their first date on that lake, not saying. and some Clutonians might have sprung from that lake, if you catch my drift. But it's an integral part. It's woven into the very heart of our city, and we felt like it was important to get a hold of that property and develop something that they would be proud of, that the city could be proud of, and that would serve to join the two Clutes together. As I talked about earlier, we kind of have two Clutes: the new Clute, the fancy shiny new Clute with the master plan communities on the north side, and the older part of Clute. And the older part of Clute actually invested back in the mid 20 teens. I guess I'm not sure exactly how you're supposed to say that. But they put their money in the form of the city's savings into the infrastructure for the new part of Clute. And that increased our value by 600%, which is great. And now we're using this Livable Center study as a mechanism to guide the reinvestment of those funds into redeveloping the older side of Clute. And so, because we've never had a downtown, because we weren't blessed with railroad, or we are blessed with railroad, but we weren't a stop way back when. There's never been a central core to Clute, and we believe that the Shanks Lake property is going to be that core. And so our vision there is we're going to develop a multi-use space with commercial, with residential, and parks, and have a genuine livable center for folks to come, work, play, and enjoy Clute in its best way.
Wow, that sounds great. My last question is, how is the long-range planning process different in a rural community compared to a larger city?
Oh, great question. And the difference is huge. And that's because, unlike Houston or one of these management districts, or our good friends in Baytown or Pearland or wherever else might have participated previously, there's limited bandwidth in a small town. There's not that many of us. So actually, I had a full head of hair before I went into local government in a small town, but I've had to change hats so frequently, it all just fell out. Ta-dum-dum. Okay. Enough bad jokes or dad jokes. No, the reality is there's limited bandwidth in the staff's ability to execute, and so it really falls on volunteers, leadership from the town, from the council, from the Economic Development Corporation, from planning and zoning. And key is in all that is finding the right consultants and the right team and partners. And we were blessed. We have a great team. HGAC has been wonderful to work with. TxDOT has been great. I can't say enough about how they've helped us manage the situation. And so that's a roundabout way of saying that it's much, I think, more challenging in a small community because there is less staff, more work, less time to get things done in a timely fashion. And so, but I do think there's an advantage because there's more focus and it's more intimate, and we can see exactly the impact that we're going to have on our constituents rather than just knowing it's a bunch of numbers being generated by some algorithm somewhere. And so that's kind of the exciting part is we're going to get to see it happen in real time. We get feedback from an amazing number of folks. The community survey work, as I referenced previously, more than 1,500 people, more than 10% of the population responded. That's so rare for a passive-driven poll or survey in this day and age where everybody's so cynical. So we were very excited about the feedback that we got, and we're using that to directly impact the way we plan our future. And
that's all the questions I have.
All the questions she has. That's great. Listen, I do appreciate y'all's time. I am so sorry I'm not able to be with you this evening in person. I'm going to put a graphic up right there, as the YouTubers like to do. Shortly, it'll have my contact information. Should you want to reach out, feel free to email me and or reach out on X or Twitter or whatever they call themselves this week. And we'll start a conversation, and hopefully others can join in and I can answer any questions that you might have. With that, I'm going to turn you back over to the very capable hands of Jose Cantu. Even though he's a Chiefs fan, cut him some slack. We'll pray for his soul and light a candle come this fall when our Texans just truck them. Anyway, take care. Thank you.